on what they have done in China
Mm.
when they open back their doors, we've adopted, I would say, a lot of what they have done into our guideline, which we will share shortly to all our members. And that's another challenge, because there will be a lot of new things that need to be implemented. Yeah. If you are big enough and if your pockets are big enough, you might be able to do that easily.
Mm.
But for the smaller properties, the not so lucky ones, it might be a challenge for them to bring up their standard that I am a safe hotel.
Mm.
You see? So that will be a challenge. Then you talk about, okay, I'm going to have to now spend a lot of money on marketing.
Mm.
No doubt, the online travel agents are there, no doubt, yes. But we have 4,430 hotels in Malaysia.
Mm.
We're not the only property that's going to go and say, hey, I'm open and please give me your business, Everybody is going to go for the same, the same cake, right?
Yeah.
So who's got more money to spend on marketing might be a little bit more successful compared to the others.
Right.
But this is where the strategy that you want to put in place has to be very effective, and then your marketing is going to have to be very targeted to the type of property you are.
Mm.
No more as I'm going to market as such, and I just hope that the bookings will come through. No more. This other challenge that we can think about is, and I'm sure Fu will agree, is how strong have we managed our customer relationship management, our CRM?
Mm.
If we did not take this CRM seriously in the past, and that will be a big challenge trying to reopen the hotels. So we are going to go back using a bit of digital, and we're going to use a bit of the old way tradition, where networking, friendship, business relationship, all this, suddenly you're going to have to start picking up the phone and making your phone calls and then saying, hey, hi, Alvin, remember me?
Mm.
Sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
we have to bite the bullet and actually say, oh, dulu sombong dengan I, because business bagus. Sekarang tiba-tiba you have to call me and say like, hey, hi, remember me?
Mm.
These are, I suppose, a way of saying that in anything that we do, we got to be very humble, right? And especially when it comes to business, kan?
Yep.
Okay, that's my take on this. Sorry, Fu, for taking too long.
Okay.
What to say? Thank you, Fu, for pick up my call.
Remember me?
Remember me?
Yes. Always remember.
Okay.
Okay. How about you, Fu? What maybe you have a thought on this?
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier just now, that the hotel industry has started slowing down since last December, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, this entire thing is a demand and supply issue.
Mm.
According to the data from Tourism Malaysia, which I just checked, okay, tourist arrivals, right, have more or less remained the same at 26 million over the past 4 to 5 years. Okay? But you see, right, the demand is the tourist arrivals, but the hotels, right, there are more and more hotels coming up each year, and also they are not to mention the Airbnb units. Okay, so they are also adding up to the supply of accommodation, short stay accommodation. This whole COVID-19 virus is like a total reset. You press on the reset button, and it's like a shuffling of cards, whereby, like Mr. Halim mentioned earlier, those hotels that can't cope, they will have to close down. This is the fact of life, that because it comes to a point where the demand supply, where the supply of hotels have overwhelmed the demand. So even before this virus thing happened, the hotels industry wasn't doing well, doing well itself, because of there's oversupply of the hotels. I would say this is the main issue that was troubling the hotels, plus the Airbnb units coming on stream, that caused the hotel industry to suffer over the last few years. And I believe the association that I'm in, MyBar, Malaysia Budget Hotel Association, as well as MAH, they have also lobbied the government to impose certain regulations so that the Airbnb operators can be on a level playing field as the hotels. Like over here, we have like hotel industry, we pay for service tax, tourism tax, but you don't get all this for the Airbnb units, and we are imposed to those like government. You have to apply for government license. You have to convert your property to meet the hotel standard requirements. You need to get a BOMBA approval. You need to get the development order, the building plan approval. All these things, it costs money, and it took us time also to apply to convert even for a boutique hotel.
Yep.
So therefore, I would say that it's a demand and supply issue. The main whole of this thing before this COVID-19 happened is the demand and supply issue. For my hotel, our hotel is located in the commercial suburban area. So we're not located at the city center, which is like very highly competitive, especially in the KLCC areas.
Okay.
Okay, but when we talk about, you said, yeah, I think I can agree. The capacity is still the same, but the hotel pump in with Airbnb and so on and so on. And as we know, boutique hotel and A&B are very well known for the business purposes, right? So they don't really actually go, people don't go then expect a very 5-star service and all that, because for them, okay, I just need to just to need a place to sleep and go when the time comes. But during this time, everyone locked down. No business to move, so they can't move, right? And of course, when we talk about a bigger hotels, established hotel, that they have their plan, they have contingency plan. Even though they are huge, they manage a lot of things. They manage from F&B all the way from the room all the way to F&B, and some of them have a different maybe entertainment kind, in there. But for boutique hotel, normally more straightforward. Rooms. It's only a room. Yeah, right. I think F&B also not many, because I think here in KL city center you don't provide cafe also sometimes. It's just very straightforward. Straightforward. Yeah. So how this can actually impact in terms of hotel itself? At least for other kind of hotel, they have some F&B. They can actually rely, or they can actually move, maybe switch a little bit of a business way of doing things. But for the boutique hotel, is it a total closure?
Okay, our hotel, Villa Hotel, is located in Kuching Lama. Kuching Lama Shupitaling area, which is the commercial suburban area. So the type of guests that we mainly attract are those that come from other states. They come for their business purpose, for short stays, and also those foreign guests that they come on a budget. We also attract the guests that come to attend the sports and concert events at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium. Yeah, you're right. We boutique hotels, we don't offer any food in the hotel, because like boutique hotel, we operate similarly to a budget hotel, but with a lifestyle element to it, the boutique hotel. So therefore, we realized that F&B is one of the high cost element for running hotel operations. Therefore, we don't have to have a F&B inside the hotel, because next to the hotel there are F&B outlets. So the hotel guests, they can, if they want any F&B, they can go to the F&B outlets next door. And most importantly, recently we have created the ecosystem for our boutique hotel stay, whereby we provide the hotel guests with co-working space through Worky co-working space, and also they can use the gym, fitness gym, through our collaboration with Himax Gym, which is located few shops away from our hotel. So like all this, we have to look for collaborations. We don't necessarily need to have the gym inside the hotel. You can look for someone who's nearby who can provide this kind of service. It's like win-win to both parties. And nowadays, guests are not only looking for F&B when they come to the hotel. They are also looking for a working space. They want somewhere they can work, can do their work other than inside the rooms. Therefore, we have thought that we are probably one of the very few boutique hotels that have collaboration with a co-working space.
Mm.
Emilia, you're right. We have temporarily closed our hotel during this entire MCO period.
Mm.
It's no secret. All hotels are losing money
Mm.
during this MCO period. And we expect that business will not resume so normal so quickly after the MCO is lifted, as long as the COVID-19 virus have not found any proper cure and vaccine.
Mm.
However, I believe that boutique hotels are will be in a better position than Airbnb to resume business after the MCO is lifted. Most people who rent Airbnb units are those who come for family trips. There are normally more than 2 persons for each stay at the Airbnb unit. Like you have book an Airbnb unit, you stay with a family group of 4 persons and above. So they rent an entire apartment for the stay. With this new normal of social distancing rule to be imposed post MCO, where any grouping of more than, I'm not sure how many yet, but I think I would guess is anything more than 2 or 4 persons are not allowed. Then those people who come for trips now are for their important needs. As such, they will prefer to book hotels. And people are also looking for better sanitization, looking for hygiene, temperature checks on the guests that come in. And hotels are more equipped and trained to perform this. You don't get all this for the Airbnb units. In fact, we started doing the sanitization, wiping the handles, doing temperature checks for the guests that come in since early February, after the CN1 holiday for the hotel and also the co-working space. As we think that this virus may get more widespread and it's important for us to protect our guests.
Okay.
Very on the point, yeah, right? Because hotel more equipped, you have more, call it in terms of management, you have more preparation on that. Yeah, at least something that we can work on. But okay, talking about that, basically visit Malaysia 2020. We actually please don't visit Malaysia, right? Yeah, we're supposed to have a visit Malaysia 2020, and APEC was initially hoped to boost the occupancy. I think that's what they've been talking last year, which has now been postponed and cancelled. I'm pretty sure it's cancelled, right? Okay, please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, even though if MCO if lifted this coming May, let's say, May. I think the worst part May or June lah, I think, yeah. It would take another 6 months, minimum 6 to 8 months for hotel to start seeing the guests coming and all that, right? But in your personal view, what could the industry do during this time, during this period of time, uncertainty time? Because even though they say, okay, by May, after Raya, but nobody knows. Is it really the industry going to start to operate after Raya? But what the hotel specific industry can do to survive this? Yeah, either they are big or small scale like boutique hotel or even like Airbnb and all that. This is a personal view only. I do understand some hotel have their own plan and all that. So maybe Halim would like to start.
Okay. I suppose after the MCO has been lifted, first of all, there is MCO being lifted in Malaysia. Then you got to look at MCOs being lifted for lockdown. In other countries, they call it lockdown, being lifted in other countries. And we are reading a lot lately that airlines are only looking at operating towards end of May or sometime in June. Yeah. Now, airlines may say they want to operate, but then it depends on the country that they're flying to. If that country is still under lockdown or under certain MCO arrangements, then they cannot fly there, right? Likewise, if Malaysia open also, and our airports are open and we're expecting tourists to come and this and that, whether the other country is allowing their own people to travel or not, that's the other question, kan? So you've got that scenario. What do I do with that? And then, of course, you look on the domestic side. Tourism Malaysia is saying, let's push on Cuti Malaysia. And state, great. Here again, you may have two schools. One who are very skeptical about, should we even travel yet? Or there's the other group that says, oh, what the hell, no, let's just go and travel.
You always have like the second group, right?
So, when you have that, sure. And as how Fu was saying, oversupply of hotels versus demand. And then, the craziest thing the hotel will do is start dropping their rates, which to me, it should not happen. Yeah. You should, in fact, use this opportunity now to regulate a certain level of pricing. Fu will definitely agree that there are even some 3-star hotels into the room rates of what his hotel is offering. In terms of facilities, of course, that 3-star hotel is a little bit better. So that becomes a very unfair playing field because rate parity becomes a mess. 3-star masuk, budget hotel masuk, boutique hotel, 4-star comes into the 3-star price range. So this is an opportunity where we can actually start regulating pricing based on product, based on services that are being offered by a particular hotel. In the association, we are talking about this already to say that, we need to now start saying that we should start regulating the pricing based on star ratings. So that all 3 stars are within this range, 180 ringgit or 200 ringgit, then your fight will be then between Hotel A and Hotel B at 200 ringgit. What are the product and services you offer? And if I want to price myself at 200, I have to be to that level. And because you are a 3-star and that rating has been given by the government, by the ministry, you have to comply to that. But easier said than done. Yeah. So I've asked, and actually the chairmen of all our our hotel members, because we have different states, different chapter chairmen, and I start telling them to look and say, for instance, kita ambil state of Pahang. Yeah, Pahang, you've got the city, which is Kuantan, Pekan. You've got the beach resorts, and then of course Pahang is also driven by Genting and Cameron Highlands, because these are Pahang. So when you take area, location, and what sort of facilities are in those areas, each of the hotels in those areas should be compatible in terms of their regulation of pricing. Then only you're not competing of the entire state of Pahang. You're only competing in that particular location of your hotel. Now, for instance, Fu's hotel is in the Kuchai Business Park, which is, I believe there are about 1 or 2 or 3 of the hotels in that area. I always see one coming down the Maju Express on the side.
Yep.
I forget the name, but anyhow, Fu takes his hotels, that composition of hotels in his area, and I say that we all provide the same services. We all have the same room sizes. We have the same facilities. So why should I go and lower my price against the other fellow when you actually have an opportunity to bring your price up comparisonly to the other hotels in that area? So if Fu can charge 180, the other fellow down the road who's having the same facilities should also maintain that. Then it becomes a fair playing field. Fu might lose the business because the fellow down the road decides to go and sell it at 120 ringgit. There was potential to actually sell it at 180. So why do we do this? And unfortunately, sometimes we panic when we do business. So
we
a lot of
really
things.
Do panic business, panic buying as well.
Also, so that is something we got to strategize now forward. Yeah. And of course, when we talk about Visit Malaysia, we talk about leisure business. We talk about APEC, we talk about conferences, meetings. Yeah. Now, that section or segment of business, the MICE business, 3 weeks ago, I did a webinar with Masios. And convention centers are going to be empty
Mm.
for a while. Big conferences are going to be not happening, you know. So I said to them that the way we do business is also going to be different. Those days, one oblong table, I can put 2, maybe maximum 3 participants.
Yep.
Now I can only put 1.
Mm.
So if my conference used to be 1,000 packs, I'm going to have to divide that by 3. So I'm only going to have 300 packs.
Yep.
So it won't be the same anymore now. Then comes the next question. Can I then now afford to have very good speakers, renowned speakers, internationally known speakers? Not going to be cheap.
Mm.
At 1,000 packs, I can do that. But at
Yeah.
300 packs, alamak,
Kan. Tak boleh.
I call Alvin, you know. Kan? And it's how we said earlier, kan? As how Fu said earlier, you know, it's a domino effect.
Mm.
I used to be able to have a very high-end entertainer. Now, entertainer pun mungkin dah kena cut the budget.
Mm.
You might be able to have a very good MC.
Mm.
Even that, I got to cut the budget. So what
Yes.
is a lot of challenges we all have to address. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Can I have live band in my bar or in my pub or in my lounge? Should I have it? Should I not have it? Should I go live music? So again, livelihood are being lost here.
Mm.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, planning has to happen. For domestic travel, planning has to happen on food and beverage business. Yeah. Takeaways, deliveries, smaller numbers of people in the restaurant, as how Fu mentioned earlier, you know, the sitting arrangements is going to be the new norm for a while. So we have to plan towards that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Fu, how about you?
What's left, lah, Fu?
Yeah, what's left? What's left? Because okay, everything is there. I think because Fu are running boutique hotel, so boutique hotel is you can have like 50% business owner, but 50% people come for holiday because this what you call it is in trend when young generation actually prefer boutique hotel because of the ambience.
Correct.
Right? Because boutique hotel is easy to adapt to all these, youngsters things and all that compared to normal hotel because that's a brand that they need to carry.
Yep.
But for this Visit Malaysia 2020, what do you think that the industry, your industry, I mean the small community of this boutique hotel can survive during this time? It's compared to site, they have to run, but you can close down. But this is not going to be forever, right? So somehow you need to start back and then start to climb back the business.
This is indeed a very tough question. What can we do to gain back business while having the virus at the back end, at the back of the mind? Okay, I would feel that as I mentioned earlier, talking about the demand and supply issue, there's a oversupply of the hotel space. I would say that the industry the industry or the business owners, hotel business owners can consider this to change the usage of the hotel space. Maybe convert the hotel space for other usage. Because right now at this point of time, it's a matter of survival. You got to change. We got to change. We got to repurpose the asset if it's not giving us the results that we want. It's like the famous quote of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, but you expect different results. Okay? So for example, if your hotel got like 10 floors, you can convert 1 or 2 entire floor for other purpose or other usage. Then you can remain the other 8 floors for your existing hotel. You can explore, perhaps you can go into co-living spaces. I think that there's a trend coming up after co-working space. Next big thing coming up, I believe, is co-living space that started last year. I think there's one in Bangsang South. Or the business owner or the asset owner can also consider to rent out the entire floor for other purpose. Like let's say, for example, for doing like wellness center or healthcare wellness center, preventive center, so that the asset, the building, the floor can be used for other purpose, not just only for hotel. Some people also say that if you're bold enough, you can even convert the hotel into a service apartment. You'll start selling the room like you're selling like apartments, especially for those in KLCC area. But of course, for the boutique hotel, we also have to think of ways to create new value-added services. Look for collaborations with other business owners. It can be the F&B, it can be the food delivery partners, so that we can look at ways how to make it more convenient, make it more, I would say that more price worthy for the customers when they pay for the certain price to your hotel. As Mr. Halim has mentioned earlier, he said there's no point going into a price war. Okay, but in this kind of panic, people may start dropping prices because they're hungry for business. To them is survival. They will drop the price so that they can get the business. But this may not sustain long term. At the end of the day, it's the value and also the value that you're giving the customers. That's very important. And for our co-working space, we do a lot of event space and seminars. So going forward, we can impose the social distancing rule, whereby previously the space can cater for 60 packs. So now we only allow for 30 packs, so that events and seminars can continue to run. I mean, it's better than having zero. It's better to have something than having zero. Okay? I think that's the one of the ways that you can think on how the hotel industry can survive going forward, is to always think of ways to change the purpose of the asset. I think that's the main thing.
Okay.
So, come back. I have another question for Halim actually. It's about the season hotelier. Since you have, I think, this huge experience on this season hotelier, normally like resort and all that. Now we know, but resort, I think one of the most impacted resort, because their focus is always about holidays. No business, or maybe some conference, but conference also mostly conference is just is a minor thing. The rest is holiday, right? Like I think the resort in Langkawi and other places around our country, they are struggling like the rest, and their business focus more on the tourism. But when we talk about just now, Malaysia major tourism, cuti Malaysia, all. And no longer, I guess for this year is totally off, right? So what do you think their scenarios at the moment? Yeah, silent.
It's interesting that you mentioned places like Langkawi and all that. Based on our survey that we did, the actual plus forecast from January to December 2020, through our survey, Langkawi is looking at about 19% occupancy. 19.
Oh.
Wow.
For the entire year.
19.
Yes. 19% for the entire year. Penang is looking at about 22% for the entire year. And these are places where you can consider it as resorts. Resort sort of business. Sabah, for instance, from our survey, is indicating about 22% as well. So obviously, the properties that are known or resort properties are also suffering. I mean, the entire industry is suffering. Namely because they are also very much dependent on inbound business. Now, if the world is not traveling, then they will be very greatly affected. And if it are only dependent on domestic travel, then it again depends on destination. Many of us have been to Langkawi, and we've been there repeatedly, Langkawi, right? But sometimes we can look at it and say, okay, what is new in Langkawi? Is there anything new in Langkawi that we can do? Penang, for instance, many years back, they moved away from beach resort sort of destination was heritage city sort of